was just amazing. Later on in the show, by the way, Gemignani threw a baton at me, like a dart, which is all about integrity and morality and responsibility, and I kind of lied my way into the show. I blame Ira Weitzman, but I was a party to a big lie. Are we supposed to be honest when we tell these stories? Here's what this is. I'm on a TV series, okay? I don't need to be in shows anymore. And Joanna Gleason, to her everlasting credit, grabbed me, put her hand over my mouth, and she said, "Look, I'm taking you for lunch." When I look at this, I think, like, what was I doing? Well, you know, I wanted to be a lawyer. There actually are a lot of people in the business who think I should have been, but like, come on. Camp in northern Wisconsin, where I played Eliza Doolittle, I played Lola in Damn Yankees, I played Annie in Annie Get Your Gun. You know, I like to say I set the gold standard in show business, but the truth is, when I was a very young man and I was playing Eliza Doolittle, I was probably 11, I got very upset with the director. I was screaming. You know how when you're at a lake, your voice echoes like all over the place? I was screaming from the island, "Get somebody else to play Liza. Get someone else, okay? I'm not doing it. Find someone else." Gold standard in human behavior. I also went to a shrink once. She said, "Chip, when push comes to shove, you just have to commit to a higher standard of personal behavior." I had gotten to a point in my career where I thought I shouldn't be playing any more, 70-year-old Jews. Was that blunt? No, I am Jewish, so I can say that. In his dressing room downstairs, and I hear, "Zion, get your butt down here." He said, and I come down there. He said, "I am in this dressing room with young Rachel Brosnahan, and you have claimed that you are an Olympic snowboarder." I've never seen an entire crew, professional crew or backstage crew, absolutely hysterical and unable to continue. It was just one of the worst mistakes ever made. So there, that was my opening night. And I appreciate the fact that he healed, but I've always wanted, I really could have used a few more months in that show. The part of me always preferred the smaller sort of American shows, falsettos, the smaller boutique-y kind of musicals. So I kind of had it in for Les Mis and Phantom. Might have had to do with Tony Awards too. That's a whole nother, won't get into that. Steer into some other. I can play tall people, or I could take a veil. She was getting married and I had to take a veil and lift it over her head. Very fatherly and gently, and it's supposed to be beautiful. But Sierra had, if she was facing upstage, she had this, she could do it, she'd make a face, which was essentially this. And I lived in terror that she was gonna go like that. Was really doing a great job. At the end, there's a scene in the sewer where Thénardier grabs Valjean and drags him off stage. My problem was I wasn't actually strong enough to drag or carry Valjean off stage. It was Alex Gemignani, by the way, was Valjean in this production. So I go down in the sewer and I roll Alex Gemignani over and I scream, "Javert!" Except it's Valjean. I'm supposed to be yelling. It's not Javert. I named it was the wrong name. Into the Woods with Sondheim, which was unbelievable. And it had like little animals, even bugs, all running around on a day that it was snowing and all talking and saying stuff about how cold they were. So those are the first 3 pages of Into the Woods I ever saw. Jacoby was suspended in a coffin, and my ladder was attached to his coffin, but the whole construction kind of swayed a little bit. It had movement, and if I gestured too much, we moved a lot. And Derek Jack, 30 feet above the floor, used to whisper under his breath, "Dear God, stop waving your arms." The director's name, by the way, was Jonas Urasis. I'm not going to say any more about that. I'm seeing this event that it was so windy outside that our producer's hair arrived 10 minutes before he did. And that got me in a little bit of trouble. He wasn't that happy about that. when I auditioned for him the first time, Bill Finn is very tall and was a very, well, he would like me to say handsome, but he was, I would say, a little gawky and a little awkward on piano. So I played it and sang it, and Bill Finn said at that audition, he said, stop, stand up and sing Happy Birthday and put your hands down like that and sing Happy Birthday. So I started that. He said, no, climb on top of the piano. And I thought, oh, there's something really, really wrong here. Became one of my dearest and longest friends. And it was the strangest audition anybody's ever had. But and so I was playing Mendel, which I was a little unhappy about, but it was fine. And we would argue and fight. You know, I kept yelling at Bill that I need a power ballad. Where's my power ballad? He would hand me the pencil and say, well, if you can write one, go ahead. It's your point in my life. I was going, I'm interested in politics, and Billy and I would talk on the phone, and I would say, you know, I don't get it. I don't get it. How did this guy get elected? I'm doing that now. But I don't get it. And there's a song in falsettos. I don't get it. I don't understand. And it was a time of when we were losing so many friends. Falsettos when it came to Broadway in '92, and very emotional time. And one of the people who came to see it one night that I'll never forget was Ray Gill, who was the original Baker at that reading, that very first reading of Into the Woods, and he wasn't well, and we were all out in the lobby talking and hugging, and it was a very emotional time, and I'll obviously never forget that period, that show.